Okay, the brilliant Jamie Webster and voice of The Voiceless. So let's have a little try and see whether these microphones are any better than mine. So in the studio with me this evening, I've got Jon and Francis from Dovegate. Good evening, guys.
Good evening. Thanks for having us, Cliff.
Good evening.
Great, I can hear you fine, so that's hopefully your mic's better than mine is. So first of all, thanks so much for coming into the studio this evening to be part of the radio show. And this part of the show is the live session. So what we do is we invite someone in, they tell us all about what's going on in the music world with them, and you play a couple of songs. So if that fits with you, we're going to start by asking you a little bit about the history of your band. But before we do that, where did the name Dovegate come from?
It's a long story, to be honest.
We've got all night, you're okay.
So it goes back to, Aaron and I were playing together, and we kind of toyed with the idea of coming up with a name that originally we wanted to be about Liverpool and and go for those roots. And everything we kind of come up with was either taken or it wasn't that good. So we kind of struggled for a while. Obviously Francis come in not too long after, and again we kind of just were practicing without a name. And there was a lad, Dan, who's in Quayside, and he was saying, like, come up with something you can have a bit of a story about. So it got me thinking for a while. And so basically the story of it is obviously my granddad ended up in prison, and the prison I first met him in as a baby was Dovegate.
Oh, right.
So that's where it comes from. It's a bit random.
Okay.
It's got nothing to do with music, but
sounds good though.
I come up with it.
What? There's a story behind it, so why not?
Well, it gives us something to talk about. It's better than just saying, I like doves and...
I know.
And gates.
I know. Well, do you know what? It's funny because when I was Googling you and I was trying to put some info in and I put the name Dovegate in, Dovegate Prison came up, and I thought,
right. That's what always comes up.
Yeah, but I had no idea, but there you go. So at least now we know. So the second thing I need to ask you, this by the way, if anyone from Rek41's listening, this microphone needs to be sorted out because it's not very good at all. Right, so cracking on with what we're doing, give us a little bit of history about how you started and what made you pick the guitar up and decide that this is what you wanted to do.
Do you want to go first?
Both of you, yeah.
I'll go first, yeah. Well, just music in general, I mainly get from my dad. He's always had guitars lying around the house. And initially, I am the drummer in the band. And basically, after watching just videos of like Ringo Starr and the drummer from Green Day, Trey Cool, I just really wanted to take up drumming. Okay. So my dad got me a kit when I was about 8. And like every 8-year-old, you're interested for it in about 10 minutes and then you get bored of it. So I was always on and off drumming, and then come around probably about 17, 16, I wanted to get back into it. So I got that out. It was tiny for me because it was like a drum set for like an 8-year-old, so it was tiny. But I made do with that. And then after that, I just kind of wanted to branch out into guitar. So I asked my dad, listen, how'd you play Here Comes the Sun from the Beatles? That's my favourite song. And he was like, slow down, learn the basics first. But I tried to run before I could walk, but I learned the basics, and I now dabble in the art of guitar as well.
Okay, that's interesting. So you're multi-talented. That's good to hear.
I've tried to branch out into keyboard. It's been a lot less successful, but I'm the drummer in the band, but I do play.
You play as well?
Yeah,
okay.
I can play guitar when we're in like the studio and stuff and trying to experiment. So that's what I'll usually do as well.
Oh, good stuff. Right, Jon, over to you.
Yes, well, I mean, you've known me for a while, Cliff.
I've known you for a while.
You've known me since I was about 8 myself, and I was never musical as a kid. It was all sports.
Yeah.
And I got to about 16 and kind of fell into it just because a girl, a good friend, Katie, she lives next door to us, and she was left-handed and played guitar, and she was getting a new one. Had this other one lying around and just said, look, do you want it? And I, all right. And at that kind of point, I'd kind of fell into liking music. I was never really that interested in listening to stuff, but what got me into it was my dad was listening to The Jam. He bought the sound effects CD in the car, and at that time it was kind of like, oh, it's my dad's boring music, and he'd have it on all the time. He'd come home from work and he'd be singing Pretty Green. Yeah. And eventually we all started taking the mick out of him singing it, and eventually it just become, we started liking it, and then I fell into The Jam, then Oasis, and that's when it really started to get interested. I've now got a guitar, So I was starting to play some of these songs. I spent literally every night in my room practicing. Probably not great for the neighbours or you know, for everyone else in the house at the time, but I don't
That's
know.
how you do it, though, isn't it?
Just, yeah, luckily it's just it's worked out well. I've tried to learn to sing, but over the years I've been playing, so
good.
And here we are now, I guess.
Well, superb. I mean, your dad's got good musical taste, I'll say that. I mean, I remember seeing your dad at a Glen Sulbrook gig as well, I'm pretty sure, a while back.
I think I've bumped into
Squeeze.
a Squeeze
You have?
gig,
We saw Squeeze at Squeeze at the Phil, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I think that was, yeah. But I knew that your dad was quite into his music, which is good. So I mean that's a good starting point for you anyway, and the fact that you know the age that you are and you got into music and you know you picked up the guitar and you give it a go, that's brilliant. There are so many great singers and bands come from the city, from Liverpool at the minute, as I'm sure you know, and it's for you to be up there and sharing the stage, which we'll talk about a little bit later with one of these bands, and well, more than one of these bands, but it must be an absolute thrill for you. I mean, I couldn't think it could get any better. Absolutely brilliant.
No, it couldn't really. I mean, fingers crossed it keeps going the way it's going at the minute, onwards and upwards for us. But from picking up that and trying to play like that's entertainment when I was starting guitar, it's crazy, isn't it? Really, just to sit there and think that it's with a couple of mates who I've met both in different schools and here we are now. It just keeps growing, and we're still growing a fan base and stuff. But it's great to see.
Good. Well, that's a good starting point, John. So what I'm going to do is we're going to see whether you can play a song for us now, which will it's going to go out. The show's gone out live, but it'll also be recorded as well. So for anyone who's missed any of this tonight, it will be available to download and listen to at your leisure as well. So let me just, before I stick this on video, there's a couple of things come through. I want to make sure that it's come through. Right, there's a couple of questions for you, so we'll ask you these questions in a minute. So there you go. So we're going to listen to, what are you going to play for us?
First one, do you want me to play the single first?
It's up to you, whichever one you want to do it.
I'll start with a new one. We've just finished doing this one. We played it in our gig at the Casimir. It's called Lonely Man. So it's a bit nicer on the acoustics. So I thought
just move that bottle for
I'll start with this.
Just a little bit of hand drum.
Right, okay, so you're listening to Dovegate playing live on Rek41 Community Radio, and take it away whenever you're ready, John.
Burst through the night time with a piece of love on show. Grant me a lifeline. Pain is all I know, 'cause I'm a lonely man, the only man. The sun don't shine on me. I'm a lonely man, alone again. I guess that you don't think too much of me. Dark times, tell me what you see. Find me my own sign, that you are all I need. 'Cause I'm a lonely man, the only man. The rain will fall on me. 'Cause I'm a lonely man, alone again. I guess that you don't think too much of me. Wherever you wait, I'll be there. Wherever you wait, I'll be there. 'Cause I'm a lonely man, the only man. The rain will fall on me. I'm a lonely man, alone again. I guess that you don't think too much of me. Still around. I could be if you were still around. 'Cause I'm a lonely man, the only man, the sun don't shine on me. I'm a lonely man, alone again. I guess that you don't think too much of me. Wherever you wait, I'll be there. 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 Cheers.
There you go. Absolutely brilliant. That was Dovegate playing live here on Rek41 Community Radio. I think that's the first radio play for that.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Superb. There's a first for us. So thanks. That sounded really, really good, by the way. Let me just have a look at these questions before we go any further, so I'm not duplicating what I'm doing. Guitar playing in the little bits needs to be a little bit louder, otherwise balance is good. Right, thank you for giving me that bit of sound advice. I will make sure that we get that sorted for the next one. Right, so first question for you. First of all, how did you get your gig supporting cast?
Well, it's a bit of a crazy one, really. We obviously had the single coming out and we'd recorded it and thought, right, we're going to plan a date, we want to do a bit of a single release. So we asked about a few different promoters, and the best offer we got was for the 7th of July, hence that date. So we went with that promoter, went for the Casimir stock room, and we sold it out, in a matter of a couple of weeks. Which obviously was fantastic, and the support around that was amazing. That was before we even announced the song coming out. So we done that, and that promoter we were working with, I Love Live Events, they would obviously work with some bigger gigs as well, including Cast, and I think they've worked with like Jamie Webster and some really big gigs in the city. So we were fortunate enough. I was on the treadmill at the time, and I got a phone call from the promoter. So there I am, absolutely blowing, answering. And he said, just want to say, well done for getting that sold out so quick. As a thanks, do you want to do Cast?
Whoa.
And I'd already bought a ticket for the gig.
Oh, really?
So I went, I just thought he was offering us to go, maybe we could try and sneak backstage. So I went, I've got a ticket anyway, but thanks. And he went, no, do you want to play? And
wow.
I had to stop, I had to take a... I was pacing up and down the gym. I was phoning everyone. Then I was like,
God,
Dad,
I got the call.
We're on with Cass. I
him.
phoned Francis straight away, and then
Adam
was in work and wouldn't answer. I must have phoned him about 15 times.
My God.
And yeah, it was just over the moon. Really, it was just a crazy thing to be asked, because it's something like they're one of my favourite bands. And I've looked up to them for a long time. So to be offered to play on that bill was fantastic. Yeah,
that's fantastic. That's really, really good. I mean, the sad thing for me is that I haven't even seen you play live yet. The number of times you've told me you're playing, and every time I've checked, there's another gig that I'm already got to. I'm thinking, I've got to go see this band one day. But I will come and see you for sure. I mean,
there's plenty more to come, isn't there?
That will happen. I'm sure there will be. So what was the day like? How did that go for you? I mean,
it wasn't easy, really.
It was a roller coaster of emotions.
I bet it was.
It really was.
So, there'd been 3 nights on at that venue, Salt and Tarn and Bootle.
Yeah.
We were the last night. There were 2 other nights on before, and on the Saturday, Red Rum Club were playing.
Yeah.
And basically, the rain had cancelled the first 2 support acts, like the rain and the thunderstorms, and cancelled it because the stage is like a big metal beacon that attracts thunders, doesn't it? So it cancelled the first 2 acts, and on the Sunday we were one of the first 2 acts.
Oh, right, yeah.
So the forecast didn't look as bad as yesterday, and it didn't get cancelled off as quickly. But just as we were about to sound check, or just as we finished sound checking, you just hear like a rumbling in the distance, and
that was it.
Filled us with dread, really. He basically, after about 20 minutes, he come in and said, we'll have to evacuate everyone, and opening times will have to push back until 5:45. We were on at 4:30, so you think we're off. So it was just basically a bunch of waiting round to hear what, because it started